everybody. We're here.
I guess, yeah, we're here. I guess the first thing is whether you can see us and hear us. I have good news and bad news. I got a new mic, so hopefully sound is okay. But I didn't drop my phone. I was riding on my bike and I didn't have the zipper compartment on the back zippered up where my phone was. And here's my screen protector.
So it's no longer a camera.
I thought that that everything was working and everything else is working, but I can't get the camera to work.
Okay.
I can get it to work, but I have to turn it down to 0.5 and it won't work with the IV cam. So I had to rush out at 6:15. I had to go to where Ross was working, pick up his phone, come home, load IV cam on it.
Oh my gosh.
So I'm not sure that it's going to work for the whole time. So I might have to change to a webcam, just so you know.
We're going to have,
but other than that,
we might have to make a change to our intro video that no longer says you're making a sweater. Now it just says that you're having technical difficulties.
Exactly.
Because the last 2 weeks it's been you. So
well, at least today I don't have to not use my hands. So that's an improvement.
So welcome to Knits and Pieces, the Knit Chat Cafe. This is our Tuesday night live knit along, virtual knit along. If you are new to us, welcome. And if you are a returning crafter, welcome, an extra welcome because you came back. Yeah. And Noelle and I together make up Knits and Pieces, and we are a multi-crafting podcast duo. I guess that's what we call it. This is a podcast channel.
Things. That's right.
We do lots of other things.
That's right. So anyway, so we hope everybody had a good week. That's right, Marianne. I really do need to sit back and have a glass of wine.
I was just reading that comment.
I thought, you know what? I haven't even had supper. I've been out in the sun for a lot of the day in the pool. Oh, and speaking of in the pool, I decided that I should see if our raft really worked.
Yeah.
So
this is the Knit Chat raft, I bet, right?
This is the Knit Chat raft, and this has got our little possum on it.
Pearl.
And I did, just so you know, I did check it out before I put Pearl on it, just in case it didn't work, but I did check it out.
You're going to have to repeat whatever it is you just said, because when you were playing the video, it cut out your mic altogether.
Okay. I said that when I decided that I tried it out first without Pearl on it, because I didn't want her to, take a dive in the water. We had to make sure this thing was seaworthy. So it floated perfectly. So now we're ready to make the big one.
Okay. We are ready to get the cork raft going, people. Ready.
That's right.
Around the world on a cork raft.
Yes. So that was kind of fun. You can tell this afternoon, obviously I wasn't worrying about my camera this afternoon because I didn't know it didn't work yet.
Yeah, these are the things that we find out usually about 10 minutes to showtime. Yeah. So Elaine says that she's sorry about your phone because her husband's phone went through the snowblower. Oh my gosh. And I'll bet it looks a lot worse for wear than yours. I'll bet nothing was working.
It's a good thing that this was on it because the glass actually underneath was fine, but I don't know whether I've just jarred something as far as the camera, but that's for another day. That's right, Maurice. We should make an arc. That way we couldn't fall off it. So
Sharon says that she's getting the Barbie fired up for lunch once we get to Brisbane.
Okay, perfect.
Good.
Perfect. So
we have people from all over here tonight. I've been kind of looking at the locations. We've got Alberta.
Yeah, I know there was people in here early, and it's so nice that you guys
Somebody said they're here from like a smoking hot Boston. It's pretty warm here in southern. So we're in southern Ontario, Canada. It is pretty hot. It's well, right now at 7 o'clock at night, it's still 31 degrees, but today our humidex, I think, got up to about 43 or 44.
Yep.
I work in an air conditioned office, and I'm telling you, when you walk out the door, that it's just like hits you.
Like hits you. Like it's almost like it takes you a while to be able to breathe because the humidity is so high. So I went for a bike ride this morning, but I went early. Like I was home by 10, and even by that point, it was just like hot. So anyway, we've got I just saw someone from Queensland.
Teresa has a few more corks in a bag, just in case you didn't have enough in that giant bag of corks.
That would be so awesome if we could really do that. But anyway, Nikki says it's cold and rainy in Newfoundland.
It was cooler in BC too. Yeah.
Anyway, welcome everybody. We're glad that you're all here. I'm not working on anything. Kelly, are you working on anything tonight?
No, I'm not. But we could talk about what we're wearing because we're wearing something the same, and we got it finished from last week because we said that we needed some inspiration to finish the projects, and we finished. And we are wearing, I'm looking for the banner if you want to talk about the sweaters.
Okay, we are wearing our, and someone told me the pronunciation. I'm not sure if it's perfectly right or not, but Zomerknoes.
That sounds great to me. Not knowing any better.
I'm not sure that that's right, but we're going to go with that. Okay. It's the Zomerknoes by Elsbeth Judith. And it's a wonderful pattern. It's such a fun pattern to knit.
Yes.
All the difference in the stitch designs that you've got in between all the purl ridges really keeps you interested. You just want to get to the next one. Kelly, do you want to talk about yours first and what you did it in?
Okay, I can do that. I do have a close-up picture of it too.
I'm gonna find it. There we go. Whoops. Oh. You put it on and I took it off.
Okay, so it's funny how the color looks different outside. It looks lighter there, but I assure you it is a dark navy blue. I used Drops Bell, which is a cotton, lightly linen. I think there's only 14% linen in the yarn, and it knits like a dream. It's a DK weight, and this is what the sweater calls for. And I made the size large, and I used about 5.5 skeins to get a size large. It's not a crop sweater. This sweater comes well down below my hips. So this is, I would call this my pants sweater because it is longer. I would like to wear it with pants instead of over a dress. I don't know. What else can I say about it? It was so much fun to knit. And for the first time ever, I did not block this. I am wearing an unblocked sweater.
Yeah, I haven't blocked mine either.
Cotton is so drapey that I didn't see the need. I didn't see the need at all. So I think the color, if somebody's interested, is called Marine Blau, which I think is just navy blue, but it wasn't spelled in English. So I'm confident that's what it is.
Okay.
And you?
Mine is done in Juniper Moon Farm Zoe, which is a cotton linen blend. I think it's 60 cotton, 40 linen. And then all my stripes, I did all the purl ridges. I did them in like a stripe. That was, Isabel had done hers like that, and I really liked it. So I decided that I want to do that. So the pink in mine is hand spun Polworth silk. So it's got a little bit of sheen to it when you see it in person. I did a size medium, but I did it on a 4mm needle. The Zoe is a little bit finer. So I did a medium, but really I've come out with probably about the size of a small or an extra small. So, which is what I wanted. And I had to add, I think, more rows because I think yours looks like you ended at the stocking stitch before you did the rib.
Yes.
Yes. And I added in another eyelet thing because I wasn't getting the length either. So,
okay.
But it's really comfortable on. The color of the Zoe, I think, is called chalk or cloud or something white. Anyways, there will be show notes, and they will be linked in our show notes. So you'll be able to go to our Ravelry page, and it'll tell you exactly what the colors are and what we used to do it. So, but yeah, super fun. I would definitely make another one of these. I'd make another one now, all one color. I'd even do this as
it's just a really fun pattern because there's so many fun little, and we need to say this too. If you are a new knitter and you want to make a sweater, this would be a fantastic first knit. This is, if you can knit and purl, you can make this sweater. There is anything difficult at all to this sweater. It's a super easy knit. And I know that a lot of other people are making this. The first one that I saw being made was Julia's. I love Julia's. And so this one's just a different take. She made hers in a light pink. So pretty. But I thought this would look good with a pair of white jeans or even, I don't know, like maybe a long white skirt, like a straighter skirt, like a denim skirt. This would look good with, but yeah, I really like it.
But I would even do this in a woolly yarn and make long sleeves.
Yeah, absolutely. You could just knit. I'm trying to remember, did the pattern actually talk about a long sleeve? I can't remember.
I don't remember. I think there actually might be another pattern by that designer that is a long sleeve version, but I think it might be in a heavier weight yarn. I think. I'm not positive on that, but I think there might be. So we had some comments here that
if there's any short row shaping. I'm trying to remember. There was a little bit at the back.
A little bit at the back. Yep.
Just a few rows.
Not very much, just a few rows. Yep. And I see we have lots of people saying how they went out and bought pool noodles so they could do their blocking. So I know it's a great idea. Like I said, I don't like that. Don't like the seams down the front of my jeans. So don't like that look. Yep. So now there are a couple people here that have said, Julia says that the pattern does have 3/4, and Sharon said she did make hers with 3/4 sleeves. So, I mean, that's the whole thing. You could adapt it. You could even do your sleeves like straight down without any shaping and then just tighten it up at the cuff. So then you don't even have to worry about where you're putting decreases because it's not a super oversized sleeve up here. So even down at the bottom, you wouldn't get a huge bell effect on your sleeve. So
there was, I think there was one more modification that the pattern offered too, though. If you felt the neck was too wide, which I do not, I think this is like a perfect neck. But if you wanted like ribbing, it does talk about picking up stitches and going back up the sweater to do a rib neckline. But I like it. I think this is also maybe the first time that we wore the same sweaters, isn't it? And it's definitely the first time that we've knit the same sweater at the same time.
At the same time, we wore our Mizzarinas before.
Right. But, and they were different too. But the same pattern. But this is the first time we knit something at the same time together. Yep. And we didn't even know that the other one had cast it on. We just cast this on independently and started knitting and then talked about it. And then we're like, hey, I'm making that too. Oh, well.
Judah said the yolks sit differently. I think it's just that, first of all, the fact that I changed the gauge and did it at a tighter gauge. And second of all, I think partly it's the fabric or the yarn that you use. So yeah, I'm really happy with it. And again, this would be a perfect sweater to knit to put into our summer hug, Cal.
Absolutely.
And again, we talked about for first time people knitting a sweater. If you're a little nervous, all you need to do is like put in a lifeline after every different stitch repeat. That way, if you do make a mistake in one of your stitch patterns, you can just go back to the previous one instead of having to like figure out how you're going to pick them up. Yeah. So that might give you a little bit more confidence. So. Yeah.
I knit mine in the recommended needle, but I have to say, like so I did make a size large, but there's plenty of room in this sweater. I probably could have gone down like a half needle size and still been okay. It's a little bit of a loose stitch. I hope it's not going to stretch out too much, but being that it's cotton, I wouldn't hesitate to just toss it in the dryer after I washed it for a little bit too, because then it'll kind of shrink back up to the size I want.
Yep. So
Okay,
so we probably should go through. We have a little bit of admin to go through.
We do.
First of all, there were a couple of questions from the last time, and I was going to ask you, and with all my camera issues, I forgot. But do you have a sweater right now that you could put on the pony cord?
Yes.
Okay, because someone did ask us if we could actually show how the pony cord is used, and all of mine at the moment are not at a point where I could slip it on to show how to use it.
I don't have a sweater, but what I do have is what I started working on last night. So this is kind of this will be a work whip for later in the show, but I can show you because it's currently sitting on a pony cord and I can pop it back. So I won't tell you what I'm working on. I'll talk about that later, but I will show you how you go across. Okay, talk about something else for a second. Let me pop it back on.
Well, first of all, are you going to show how you can put it on something to try it on?
Well, I'm just going to show you how you can put it on something.
Okay.
Because it's tiny what I have, but
okay. So what I do too is I use them for my sleeves too, right? So all you have to do is put your needle here. I've got a needle.
No, I've got it right here. Okay.
Got it. Okay.
Where I need to be.
Okay. So Kelly's going to show you how to use it.
Okay. So if you have some knitting on a needle, and this works for any size of knitting, so it doesn't have to be something small. This could be a sweater size on your, like a circular needle. And then you have this little flexible, it's stretchy little plastic pony cord, and it has a hole in it. This is probably a pretty big needle to do this on, but it does work. So you just put the needle tip into the hole of the cord. And unfortunately, they're both blue, so that's not really helping either. But then you just push your knitting along and slide it right onto the cord. The cord doesn't come off the needle because it's plastic and grippy, okay? And so then once you've got them on here, on your pony cord, your stitches are still live. You can just pull it's grippy. You just pull the needle out, and then you've just got live stitches floating along on a cord. So think about using like a piece of yarn. You would have used waste yarn to do your sleeves. This is so much easier because when you're ready to put it back on, all you do is you put the needle back into the cord and you just slide these off the cord right back onto a needle. So it's super easy. So think about how easy that is to try a sweater on when you've got, you know, a sweater maybe on like a 24-inch circular. You just have a longer length of pony cord, stick it onto the needle, slide your stitches across, and then you've suddenly got, you know, a garment that's big enough that you can try it on. Super easy to do.
I don't even, when I'm trying it on, if I'm knitting and I'm trying the yoke, I don't even slide all the stitches off. What I do is
I don't either.
I take the cord and put it on one end of the needle and the other end of the cord and put it on the other end of the needle. And I just slide the number of stitches into the middle
to try it on. Yeah.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So, okay. So that was one question. Other question was about how we do color work. Okay, so when I do color work, I always, and of course I don't have anything that's on the go right at the moment that I can show you, but I always carry one yarn in my right hand and one yarn in my left hand. So my right hand yarn is going to be the background color. The color that I hold in my left hand is my color that I want to pop, like the pattern color. So with my right hand, I'm throwing, and with my left hand, I'm doing continental.
And I do color work exactly that way.
Yeah. So, and when I'm doing small circumference, I turn it inside out. Just simply because when you're carrying like across a couple of stitches, if you've got it inside out, it just gives you that little bit extra. And then try to keep your stitches kind of spread out a little bit on your needles when you're carrying like say 3 or 4 stitches, just so you're not pulling and it's not too tight.
Right. And if you don't quite understand what knitting inside out means, I have a tutorial on that, and I will insert it right above Noelle's head here after the show if you need to go back. And I've been time stamping each week now. Okay. So I'm marking things down. So if you have something that you want to go back for after the video, after we're done tonight, then when it's running on YouTube for like reviewing, not live, you can go in, check out the timestamps and any links that we put in for it as well.
Now, Sharon said she couldn't get the cords to work with fluffy alpaca. I find that they work pretty good down to about a 3.5, a 3 3/4 millimeter needle. But once you get down lower than that, it's almost like the cord, the circumference of the cord is too big for everything to slide easily over the needle. Mm-hmm. So I did find a little bit of smaller stuff, but it's really small. I kind of need something almost in between But I find that as long as you're like especially if you're doing like something on a 4mm or 4.5, it works perfectly.
Mm-hmm.
So, but it is, once you get down too small in your needle size, it doesn't work quite as well.
And the pony cord we've purchased, we've found it at Michael's. We've found it, Joann's, if you're in the States, has it. Somebody on here has even mentioned Walmart carries it. It's in the like the beading section, so the children's beading section.
Yep.
It doesn't work for, like, as Noelle said, like for socks or anything like that. It would be,
no, it's just too small.
Too small. But for knitting sweaters where you have something that you want to try on or sleeves, it's perfect.
Sharon says
life changing. It's life changing. It is.
Sharon says she's on 5mm needles and she still can't get it to work, but she did say she's a tight knitter, so that could be why. If your stitches are really tight on the needle and you're trying to slide it over, because when you put that little cord on, obviously the circumference at that tip is going to be a little bit bigger than what your needle is. So if you have really, really tight stitches, you may not be able to slip them on there easily.
Mm-hmm. So. And I think Jill is asking, what if you're using multiple strands of yarn? That works too.
It works fine. Yep.
It works fine because I've used it for all of my sweaters recently, and a lot of them I knit holding more than one yarn together.
Yep.
So, yeah. Okay. What was next?
Okay. Denise said she was surprised that the cords from Petite Knit came in 2 sizes. Okay, I didn't know that.
So they have
that
thinner
must be
cords.
A different one, because that's not the Barber cords. That's Petite Knit. So maybe they do. Maybe things are coming out now with some smaller cord. But I mean, all you really need to do is find a flexible cord that's hollow so that you can stick your needle in the middle of it. I tried to look on Amazon, but I couldn't find the diameter I want. And sometimes you just need a little piece to be able to try it to see if it'll work without having to buy like copious quantities of it and then find out it's not the right diameter.
Yes.
So anyway, so Julia said you could change the needle to a smaller one to slip the stitches. That's right. If your stitches are tight, you could put it on a smaller needle and then put it on. But then that makes things a little bit more complicated. But if you really want to try it on and make it easy to slide them on, that might be easier to do than to try and put it on a piece of waste yarn. So
Audrey says that she really likes her sweaters or popovers. I really like that they're called popovers or jumpers instead of just sweaters in other countries. I think sweater it just sounds so generic.
Being from Ireland, we always called them jumpers, right? A jumper was one that you pulled over, and then a cardigan was a sweater that you buttoned up.
Yes.
And you never said sweater. It was either a cardigan or a jumper.
I think they're much nicer words.
So
okay, somebody else was asking, can you explain? I have the yawns tonight. I'm going to forewarn you, so I'll keep trying to hide them. It's been a long day, a long week, and we're only on Tuesday. The difference between Coast, Tides, and Super Soft.
Okay, Super Soft is 100% wool. Coast is 45% cotton, 55% lamb's wool. Tides is 30% silk and 70% wool. I'm not sure of the makeup of the wool. And I think Super Soft is 50% lamb's wool, 50% Shetland. I'm not sure. It's 100% wool, but I'm not sure of the actual makeup. I know some of the Super Soft is Shetland. So, but they're all basically, they're classed as a light fingering. Coast, I would say, would be the lightest of the 3. So, okay. So we should go and announce our winner from the last podcast. Okay, so last week we gave away some of the pony cord, and we also had some to give away to somebody who watched the podcast throughout the week. Mm-hmm. So the question that we asked everybody, and there was so many good ideas, the question that we asked everybody was, what was your favorite Christmas movie? So our winner is Elisa Zemlek, and she says, thanks for another great show. My favorite Christmas movie is The Christmas Story. So I watched that one. That was my dad's favorite Christmas movie. So we watch that one quite a bit growing up. So So Lisa, you're our winner. So if you want to get in touch with us, you can email us at knitsandpiecespodcast@gmail.com.
I lost it. We have too many banners in here. There we go.
There we go. Yep. knitsandpiecespodcast@gmail.com. And we will get that pony cord out in the mail to you. So, but there were so many amazing movies. I thought,
what's your favorite movie?
I really like The Holiday. I really like Elf. I really like Love Actually, which I cannot believe you have not ever seen.
Okay, so I don't know if I just watched a different Love Actually or not, because I decided this weekend because so many people talked about it, I thought I have to watch it. And I don't know if I just wasn't in the right frame of mind or what, but I'm thinking, this is not a Christmas movie. And I just couldn't get why so many people like that movie. I don't know. What am I missing? Did I watch the wrong movie? Is it the one where it's like multiple stories of all different?
Yes.
Okay, I didn't get it then.
Yes, I love it.
I'm going to tell you what my favorite movies are. One of them is The Holiday. I love that movie. I really like that one. And
that's because I want to go and stay in that English cottage.
Right? And just knit. I just want to take all the yarn. Yeah. I don't need, I've just forgotten his name. What's his name?
Oh, I can't remember.
I don't need him. Jude Law. I don't need Jude Law. Yeah. Although, if he came with the cottage, he's kind of cute, right? But here's the thing. I love the cottage too. And I just love the idea that they switched and then everything just fell into place. But there was one other Christmas movie that we watch as a family. Or Mike and I will just watch it. And I think only one other person mentioned this, and that was The Family Man. And that is a movie with Nick Cage. And it's kind of like based on the Scrooge theme where he gets a little glimpse into a life that could have been. He's like a big Wall Street tycoon and he looks back at what it could have been. I love that movie. I love the little girl in there and thinking, I just think that's adorable. And then there's one other movie that Kendall and I watch every single Christmas. And we will go to any length to see this movie. And nobody mentioned it that I saw in the comments anyway. And it's called The Family Stone. Has anybody else seen this movie? Okay, you need to watch that movie. This is a fantastic movie. It has a fantastic cast. And it does take place at Christmas time. It has Sarah Jessica Parker as a very uptight from the city girl who meets up with this very sort of overwhelming family of the boyfriend that she's dating, and chaos just ensues. And it is a stacked cast. Diane Keaton is in it as the mother, and I love Diane Keaton in anything. I love The Family Stone. And then the last movie that we had always used to watch with the kids when they were little, it was not Christmas until we had watched Christmas Vacation with the Griswolds.
A lot of people mentioned that one.
Yes, absolutely.
And Ross and I always watch It's a Wonderful Life.
I haven't seen that one in many years, so I'm probably due for that again.
Ross always has to imitate Jimmy Stewart while we're watching it. But there's a lot of good Christmas movies, and some of them you have to be in the right frame of mind to watch. And I don't know. Yeah. I don't know. I was going to put a Christmas movie on today to see if it would make me feel any cooler.
That's a good idea. Good idea. Oh, and see now, Linda, you're talking about the movie that my son-in-law thinks is the ultimate Christmas movie. When we're in BC for Christmas, and we're talking about watching Christmas movies, and we talk about the sappy ones, he's like, no, let's watch the ultimate Christmas movie, which is Die Hard. Okay, it only takes place at Christmas. It's not Christmassy.
I do like that movie too, though. It is a good movie.
Die Hard? Yeah. Yippee-ki-yay. Anyway, that is our podcast. That is our Christmas movie. Well, no, we talked about knitting in July, Christmas in July, and the knitting, and so there, it kind of ties in. And thank you all for commenting.
That was amazing.
Now I've got a few movies to add to my list.
I have a lot to add to my list because ones like some of the old ones, like Holiday Inn and Meet Me in St. Louis and White Christmas with Bing Crosby, I'd forgotten about them, and now it's like, okay, I've got to search those out and watch them again.
Okay.
So
moving on. What's next?
Finished objects.
Oh, well, I'm wearing one.
So am I, but I have a couple more.
Okay. I do not. Go ahead.
Okay. So my first finished object is, this one. This is called Moonlight.
And we will never lose Noelle again as long as she's wearing that sweater.
This is called Moonlight by Knitting for Breakfast. So this is done in Juniper Moon Farms Perennial. And this is, I'm not sure if it's called neon pink, but it's neon pink.
It is beautiful though.
It's beautiful.
I saw it on the weekend in person and it like literally looks like she's glowing in it.
Yeah, I really, really like it. So that was just a picture. I couldn't get, of course, I'm trying to take a picture. My forward camera works, just not my back camera. So I'm trying to take a picture to get the picture in. But anyways, I'll get better pictures. That's on with my bathing suit too, in case you want to know. That's why it's only a top half picture.
She's all party on the bottom.
So there's a picture laid out. So it's got a nice little border around the bottom that's got some bobbles in it. Pretty. The yoke is beautiful. I loved knitting it. The yarn feels amazing. The yarn is a combination. I think it's merino, alpaca, and nylon. It's so soft. It's incredibly soft. And that's just 1.5 skeins.
Very
so
nice.
It's really super light. And I really like it. So I'll show it here, but I don't know whether or not it'll probably blow out in the camera. Yeah.
Yeah. Linda, anyway, you're right. It's a beautiful pink and it would look gorgeous on you with your coloring too, wouldn't it? It would be beautiful.
So yeah, so that'll be our uniform when we go to any yarn festivals so that you can find me. I might be short, but I'll be glowing.
Okay. I just have to interrupt for a second. Lori says that she loves the movie The Family Stone too, and she had a chance to be an extra in it because it was filmed in Pittsburgh, which I did not know.
Oh, that's awesome.
And it was close to where she lived at the time, but she ended up not being able to do it. I wonder, what would you have been the extra? Like, I wonder, would it have been the scene where they're at the bar and Meredith gets tipsy?
Well, don't tell me. I'm going to watch it.
Gets her freak flag flying. Oh my gosh, now I'm going to have to watch the movie again.
Okay, this year we'll have to get together and watch that one, and then one that I like that you haven't watched yet.
Okay, sounds good.
Okay, deal. Okay.
What else have you got?
Okay, so I also finished a little romper for Penelope. So this was the one that I started last week. So this is the Emily Baby Romper by Natasha Gizamova. And it's got like a little leaf border up at the top. And then the little booties that I did to go with it are the Sarcha's Booties by Sarcha de Bruges. And I'm sure I've said that wrong, but the name is there. So, and this is done in Serdar Baby
Bamboo, wasn't it?
Snuggly Baby Bamboo. Yes.
Yeah.
So
I like how you use the I-cord to bind off, because originally I think the romper has sleeves, did it not?
Yes, and that's not I-cord. That's just a couple of rows of garter stitch.
Oh, is it? It looks like that picture. It's so cute.
Okay, I've got the romper right here, so just let me.
Penelope is like seriously the best dressed little baby girl ever.
So
these rompers are adorable. That's what Susan said. Best dressed baby award goes to.
So the it's a really cute pattern. The pattern did have long sleeves. So there I've just made it into little short sleeves. And all I did was, once I picked up the stitches for the sleeves, you were supposed to actually increase because the sleeves on it are really kind of blousy. So I just didn't increase, just did 2 rows of stocking stitch and then 4 rows of garter stitch and then bound off. And then the only other difference, when they told you to pick up more stitches around the leg, but I didn't want the legs really gapy. So I just
that is so cute.
And it's got a little keyhole at the back.
Oh my gosh.
So, and then these little booties are
got the little crossovers. Oh my goodness.
They have a little crossover. So yeah, so maybe who knows, in a couple of weeks we'll have a picture of her wearing it.
Adorable.
So yeah, so that was a fun knit. And I think I forgot to say, this was the Moonlight Tee. It's by Knitting for Breakfast. I think I might have had that on the banner, but I didn't say it. So it's Knitting for Breakfast. And Knitting for Breakfast has gorgeous patterns. Like a lot of those little, I don't know, popovers, is that what we're saying? Just the short low,
yes.
With a nice yoke. I love something with a yoke that,
mm-hmm.
So Anyway, that's all I've got for FOs.
Oh, that's all. That's all, eh? That's all.
Yeah, that's all.
You
But
must
the
have
baby
slept.
knits
You
are
must have
so
actually
much
took
fun.
time to sleep and eat this week then, did you?
No, I did. I actually did some weaving. So these are going to be a set of tea towels. So
oh, those are beautiful.
I'll show you how long this is. So there's
2, 3.
So
oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Those are beautiful. I love that color.
So yeah, it's kind of fun to put the colors together, and I'm never quite sure what it's going to look like until you actually start weaving. Like I kind of plan it out before, like I plan out what I'm going to do for my warp. This is not part of it. This is just a waist yarn that kind of divides up the two tea towels.
Okay.
But like doing that like this would make a nice table runner too.
It would.
So
it would. I would like a table runner.
Would you? Well, you'll have to pick out colors.
Anyway, Jill is asking how long does it take you to weave something that length?
Okay, first of all, you've got to warp it. That takes probably about an hour and a half. And then each tea towel takes me about an hour and a half. And there's 3 of them on there. Wow, still nice. a whole lot less time than knitting something that size.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. So anyway, yes, I did do that. So now, are you working on anything, Kelly?
Yes, I am. I'm just going to mark down that time when we start to talk about that. 37:40. Okay.
I mean, like we're sort of doing something in order.
Well, I'm hoping to put some order to it after the fact.
My camera hasn't given out yet.
Hi, Patricia. She says she's late. Nobody's ever late.
No,
nobody's ever late. Okay, so I started this last night, and we'll have to put a picture up because you certainly can't tell what I'm making by looking at it.
Can I put the picture up now?
Yeah, go right ahead, because I got such a little bit.
Go.
Isn't that the most adorable little sweater? So that is called Miles, and so it's going to be a little cardigan, and it's by Faina Goberstein, and it's like a little old man cardigan. It's
cute.
And there's a nice big thick cable that will go right down the center back. You can see the cables on the sleeves as well. It's super cute. So I'm making this in Barocco Vintage DK, which is a lovely washable option for babies. You can even machine wash it and just lay it to dry. It's very, very soft. And the pattern is interesting because what I have completed, the parts of it that I have completed, I have 2. These are pocket liners.
Oh, wow.
Look at these little pocket liners. So that just gives you a sample of the color knit up. So you knit
his phone in there.
His little baby doodads. I know. Little pockets for his doodads. Probably his little drumsticks, or I don't know, little things. Maybe a soother. I'm not sure. But anyway, so I've got these made. And then, that's funny. Somehow when I was doing my sample, I put them on the pony cord backwards to one another. It doesn't really matter. So the way that you make these, you start with the pocket liners and you put those off on needles to hold or pony cord. That's all I have done. Okay. I just started this probably about 11 o'clock last night. So I did those and went to bed. And then the next thing that I'll do is the sleeves. So you do each of the sleeves, and then you actually start knitting the sweater, and you work from the bottom up. You work the pocket in with these little pocket liners, all in the same thing, so that once you get onto the sweater, you're only knitting on the one needle. And then you attach the sleeves and knit up, and it's got that gorgeous like shawl collar on it. And I'm thinking he definitely needs like some little, like the old man cardigan buttons, the ones that kind of look
the wooden, not the wooden,
yeah,
look like leather with the little crosses in them.
Yes, absolutely. Because I just think it's such a pretty color. I really, really like the color.
It's a gorgeous color.
How cute that would be to wear like with a pair of jeans or anything in the fall. Khakis, yeah, his baby khakis, and his little baby work boots for all the work he's going to do. I don't know, but it's super cute. So that's what I started last night. Other than that, I'm still just kind of working on things that I had on the go already. And I don't think I've shown these ones in a while because I had one already knit and then I picked it back up because I found myself in the car a few times this week where I wasn't the driver. So I did all of this just in the car. So I'm ready to put the heel in. And these are just a sock with a cable that I'm putting down it. And it is the Rose Hill yarn. And the color was
Sunday afternoon.
Sunday afternoon. I knew it was Sunday something or other. So pretty. And then this is the contrast color for the heel. Guess I could have actually shown you the sock that I have finished, but there you go.
Pretty.
It's really pretty.
Yeah.
So that's what I kind of worked on this week while I was in the car. And I also worked on my Tassels in the Sky shawl. So I don't have very much of that yarn left. In fact, I was going to weigh it. You show what you're working on, and then I'll report back on the yarn.
Well, I'm working on my eel husk sweater, but I've just got it. I've got the whole body cast off, so I've just got the sleeves left to do. But I really wanted to do that little romper, so just kind of I got the bottom done, and then I just kind of set it aside. I love the way it fits. It's going to be a great cardigan, but it's hard to get into doing a cardigan when it's so hot out right now.
I know. That's why I thought it would be fun to work on a baby sweater. It's supposed to be a really warm week.
Yeah. So all I've got left is the sleeves, but then that's going to be a lot of fabric sitting in my lap. So that might get put aside until it just gets at least a little bit cooler out. And then the only other thing I'm working off, I'm finishing my Get Shorty Goes to Prom socks.
Oh,
and that is by Irene. So Get Shorty Goes to Prom. So I had finished. There's my first one.
So cute.
And then I probably will finish this one tomorrow. So what I did want to show though was when you're doing something, and I'm sure this happens to a lot of people, but I was down to about here. I don't know if you can see, but I noticed that I had dropped a stitch where this little stitch marker is here.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
I had dropped a stitch and I thought, there is no way I'm ripping back to there. So if you do that, just take one of your little light bulb stitch markers and hook it in there. So it's not going to go anywhere else. It's not going to go down any farther. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a crochet hook. It looks like so far it had only dropped down a couple of stitches before I found it. So I'm going to hook it back up, and then I'm going to take a piece of the same yarn, and I'm going to go through on the inside, and I'm going to weave a piece of yarn in, catch the stitch, weave it on the other side, and it'll be fine. And it's the bottom of the foot. No one's ever going to see it. So, but I was not going back to rip out all the way back to the heel, because that would have been back to there.
Right. Yes.
But as long as it's something like simple like that, I mean, obviously you might not want to do that if it's something in the middle of a yoke somewhere, but if it's somewhere where you're not really going to notice it, then, it's easy to just grab your stitch with one of those little light bulb stitch markers and then deal with it after. But really nice socks. Really like the design. I really like the little picot edge here. So I did mine in, my main yarn is the nubby fingering from Red Sock, Blue Sock in, I think the color is called Josephine. And then this cream color up here is Samoyed yarn from Poppy's Pom Pom.
Very nice. Very nice.
Yeah, really fun to work on, fun knit. So, and then my other whip that I've got going is my mini mint, but it's still at the same point. I still just have to do the sleeves on it. So
hi, Colleen. She says she's finally made it to her first Knit Chat live. Yay.
Hi, Colleen.
You're not late. You didn't miss us.
No.
So Maris says that she's always cold. So she's sitting on her veranda, 28 degrees and knitting a DK cardigan comfortably. You wait, Maris, you get a little bit older. You'll be warm.
I was sitting outside knitting these after coming out of the pool, and my yarn was getting wet as it's coming across my wet leg. And I'm still hot.
I've got 25 grams left. I'm so close to being finished.
What about in your mohair?
I just moved in. Well, no, about an inch ago, I moved into
you've got a couple of balls
skein
of the mohair, so you don't have to worry about it.
I have lots of balls of that mohair. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so one more week and then we go to.
Somebody was asking. I think it was Sarah.
I just downloaded the ArriveCan app.
Oh yeah, right.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. So we have like 9 days before we get on that train. How hot is it in Chicago? I don't know if is Irene in here tonight? How hot is it, I wonder? Or is somebody else from Chicago? Could you tell us? What's the temperature there? Is it sweater weather? Is it jumper weather?
Maybe summer jumper weather. Well, I'm hoping where we'll be inside knitting is going to be air conditioned.
I'm assuming so. Yes, absolutely.
But yeah, so I did that. I haven't filled it all in yet, but I thought I'd better do that, get it done and ready. Now I'm trying to figure out what I'm going to bring to knit.
That will be my first thing packed long before anything else. I'll have to figure out what I want to work on. And I was
thinking, well, this week I am going to start the Cozy Classic Raglan that I'm doing for Leo and Roxy. So then next week I'll have a sample to show that's got the marled yarn, their marled sock yarn held with the heather colored mohair. But I don't know if I want to take that like on a train or because the mohair fluff, there was a lot of mohair fluff when you were knitting your ranunculus on the train. Although we had masks on then, so it didn't really matter.
It was just sort of like filling the air, wasn't it? Even last weekend, we went to London and I worked on the shawl in the car and I was wearing a black t-shirt. And by the time we got there, that was a really bad decision. I went to get out of the car and I looked down. I had just mohair everywhere. And I thought, oh my gosh, I can't go in a store like this. Okay, so it's probably much like what we have here. Christine says it's in
Chicago.
Yeah, it's 31.
Oh, well.
That'll be toasty.
Oh well, we're going to be sitting inside knitting anyway. Are trains air conditioned?
Oh, I'm assuming so as well. Yes. Otherwise,
I've looked at the long range weather forecast. It looks like it's still going to be warm, but not quite as warm as it is right now.
If it's that warm, oh my gosh! And the trainer's not air conditioned. We'll have to give up knitting and just keep whining.
We'll have to like.
And by whining, I mean drinking.
Penelope has a little fan that they can put onto her stroller. Maybe she'll let me borrow it.
That is a great idea, Alice. She says to add a sticky roller to my knitting bag. That would be great. Or that would probably also come in handy. Like, do you remember when we were at Knit City, Montreal, and they were playing that game of what's in your knit bag?
Yes.
Nobody else would have had a sticky roller. That's a great idea.
I don't think, well, that would be good for them if they ask that.
Yeah, if they ask, I guess, yes. Yes, Sarah, I did find what I was looking for in London. I found the dress. We went to a few places. I tried on several dresses, and then I found the dress. The last first dress I saw in the store, tried it on. Round of applause from everybody in the store. Everybody agreed it was the dress. So the dress is upstairs waiting for the big day, which is incredibly close. It is on August the 7th is the wedding reception. Mm-hmm. And Kendall and Derek and Miles are coming home on the Friday, which is August the 5th. So their flight has already been canceled once. They've rebooked. So fingers crossed that there are no more issues. I told them that it might be a wise idea to FedEx their wedding outfits here, just because of what's going on in Toronto with the luggage and the delays and things being lost. So I thought, everything else you can grab here, but wedding outfit might be trickier. So I think she's going to FedEx that package here. And I've bought a few things for Miles and got a few little things tucked away just in case his luggage doesn't make it. Don't worry. We were shopping. We were just getting groceries the other night, and they had a clothing section at the other side of the grocery store. And I found a couple of little things that I wanted. And Mike said, Kel, he doesn't need more. I'm sure he's fine. And I'm like, hey, we've waited so long for a grandchild. And seriously, what good is he if I can't buy him little things? Might as well send him back if we can't spoil him a little bit, right?
Yeah. Becky is asking what's in Chicago. Becky, we're going to the mini meetup that's hosted by Frivolous and Frugal and the 3-Ply podcast. So it is actually just outside of Chicago. What is it? What is the name of it again, Kelly? I can't remember.
I'm going to say like it's Hyattville, but it's not.
No, it's not.
Anyways. Sorry. Somebody might save us in here. We'll all watch the comments.
I think it's about like we actually take the train to Union Station or Grand Central or whatever it is in Chicago, but then we take like a
Hoffman Estates. Thank you, Debbie.
Yes. Thank you, Debbie. Good thing. Hopefully we're going to get where we're going, but we can't even remember the name of it. But then we take another shorter like train just to Hoffman Estates. So it's we go on the Thursday, and I believe they'll be getting together and knitting Thursday night, and then all day Friday and Saturday, and then we don't leave Sunday. Our train doesn't leave till around 4:00 in the afternoon on Sunday. So that's a lot of knitting, like the train ride on each end of it, and then almost like that's going to be like almost 4 full days of knitting.
I know. I should be able to finish something in that time. Yeah. That's the goal. Finish at least something.
So I'm trying to think something on small needles so that I don't have to bring a whole lot of stuff with me. And I mean, there is a yarn store. If I run out, I can get something.
And I think we're going to the yarn store, if you could imagine that.
We are going to the yarn store. Yeah. So really, really looking forward to it. So
we will take, we'll do some recording of something. I don't know what, maybe some of the people that we meet, maybe just some video of what it looks like to have so many knitters in a room knitting. I don't know. Did you ever go to these things when I was a teenager, like part of our church youth group? We used to do these things like for a weekend to raise money. I don't know, like for a cause or for a family or something, but I think they were called rock-ins, and you had to like take a rocking chair to the church and you spent the weekend in the church. Okay. I'm getting by the look, you've never done this. And then you spent the weekend in the church basement. And it was lots of fun, and there was like movies on the screen and things like that back when you could like rent the movies and put them up on a screen, and you would have like this rock-in or this event for a weekend to raise money. I don't know. Did anybody else do this? I cannot. Is this just a Nova Scotia thing? I don't know. It was a church youth group, but that's what it sort of sounds like. So we're just going to be like hanging out for a weekend knitting.
Yeah. It's going to be fun.
And thank you, Connie. Connie said yes. There we go.
Okay, there you go.
Where are you from, Connie? Nikki never did that. Never okay.
No. Anyway, we should talk about our knit-alongs.
Yeah, we should. We should.
So,
Julia says it's a Nova Scotia thing.
I don't even know if it's a Nova Scotia thing. It was probably just your particular church. Anyways, our first knit along that we have going on is our summer hug make along. And for that make along, all you have to do is make something that kind of gives you a nice cool weather hug. So by that we mean we want you to use some sort of summertime fiber. So that could be silk, it could be hemp, it could be linen, it could be cotton. So at least 30% should be that particular fiber. Okay. And you can make a shawl, you can make a sweater, you can make socks. So anything that you sort of can put on yourself to give yourself a nice summer hug. So our summer canoes sweaters would be perfect.
These ones right here.
These would be perfect and a lot of fun to make. But there's there's sock yarns that have cotton in them. There's sock yarns that are bamboo, because you can use bamboo. Mm-hmm. There's lots of shawls that you can make, like bamboo and silk, like make a really nice drapey shawl.
This beautiful yarn from Leo and Roxy would work. Yep. This is linen silk. Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's lots of options.
Coast is 45%
Coast is?
cotton. Yep. 55% wool. So you could use Coast. And yeah, so we do have hashtag KNP Summer Hug if you want to share what you're making on Instagram. And there are threads set up in Ravelry for your finished objects and chatter thread if you want to see what everybody else is making. And one thing I want to say, if you do have trouble with Ravelry or you can't use it or you're not on Instagram, I did have someone had sent me pictures of her socks and I put them in the finished object thread for her. So if you can't use Ravelry, just email your information to our Gmail account.
Sorry, I'm reading comments.
Okay. Our Gmail account, which is
I have to find a way to get it to stay up at the top so I can find that one easy.
podcast@gmail.com, and we will put them into the appropriate threads for you. So that's that, Cal. So now, Kelly, I'll tell you a little bit about our sock, Cal.
Oh gosh. Okay. Sock Cal. This is the hashtag down below if you want to show off your socks in Instagram. And so with socks, we knit those all year long. When you finish a pair, you can put it into our group on Ravelry. It's eligible for a draw. We draw every month, 2 draws. We do the first is for a pattern prize, generously donated by our friend Natalie from Remembrances Pottery. And then the second one is always for a sock yarn prize of some sort. And we've just been replenishing the sock prize bin, and we've got some really nice new ones in there for you too. So just keep knitting. And it doesn't even have to have been started this year. If you've got some like whips hanging around in bags from 2, 3, 4, 10 years ago, then you can put them in.
Finish them. That's right.
You just have to finish them in that month. Throw them in there.
And if you do a pair in bamboo or cotton, you can enter them in the Summer Hug Cal and in the Sock Cal. So,
absolutely.
And our goal for the Sock Cal is to get 2,022 pairs for 2022. And I think we're certainly going to do that. I looked today, you know what? I looked. And then with all the stuff with my camera and stuff, I can't remember how many there were. Did you look?
No, I barely got here. I was at work late tonight too. Somebody is asking, what are the dates for the Summer Hug? It is July, August, and September. So you've got to the end of September.
Yep.
Yeah. That sounds like fun. Okay. So what I was reading were these comments, and how many people did things like that when they were teenagers. So they did dance-a-thons, they did rock-a-thon.
We used to have a band-a-thon where we'd go all night, but we didn't sit in rocking chairs.
Well, it's like rock-a-thon, right? So you had to stay in your chair. You could have little breaks as long as somebody relieved you for the rocking.
Okay.
I was probably sitting there knitting and rocking, if I know me at that time, but probably the only one doing that too. And then I'm looking at other ones. So it's okay. Elaine says that hers as a youth group did a starve-a-thon. Okay, I would not be down for that one.
No, me either.
But
as
lots
soon as
of other
somebody
things.
tells me I have to not eat, I'm starving.
I'm already hungry. It's like, no, I won't make it. So there you go. I'm not strange. It's not. Okay. It's not just a Nova Scotia thing.
Darcy is asking about the Leo and Roxy linen and silk. It is a very nice yarn. It was just a special yarn that they did for their 4th anniversary. So right at the moment, there is not any on their website. I don't know whether I don't know whether they're going to dye any of it again in the future or not. But if you look on Ravelry or even just type into Google, it is, I believe it's 65-35, isn't it, Kelly? 65 silk, 35 linen.
Yes.
There are other dyers.
490 yards in one
there are other dyers, like Tanis Lavalley has one. So that would be Tanis Fiber Arts. I believe that Sweet Georgia has one. But if you type that in, you might be able to, it might bring some up for you. Or even in Ravelry, I think if you type in the fiber content, it might bring up some comparable yarns. So
thank you, Gina. Gina says there are 1,537 pairs of socks in there. Wow, you guys are amazing.
Less than 500 more pairs, and we're only in July.
I know.
That's awesome.
You're amazing. Amazing.
Yep.
Okay. I'm just looking to see if there was anything else there that we missed. Yes, Maria, absolutely.
Yes,
she wants
if you
to
just
know.
Send us, Yeah, I saw that. Good thing you saw it again because I'd forgotten. Just send us the info and the pictures of your socks in the email, and we will make sure that it gets into Ravelry for you. Sarah, that would be awesome if we could get to 3,000. So
that would sort of blow the 2022 out of the water, but that's the goal.
That's okay.
That doesn't mean you need to stop. Do you have special patterns for bamboo? She knit bamboo socks a couple of years ago, and they stretched to huge man-sized socks. Were they was it bamboo sock yarn? Because I know that there are a couple of brands of bamboo yarn that is specifically designed for socks. So it has some type of nylon
or something in it that kind of, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Becky says she needs to take a couple of months and knit second socks.
Yes, well, no, that's not true. I don't do that. I don't have a whole lot of single socks. I've just got the 2 single socks for the pairs that I'm working on, and both of the second socks are half done.
Oh, she said it was bamboo sock yarn.
Okay.
I don't know. I would try throwing it in the dryer. I don't know if that would help or not. But I mean, if they're too big right now, what do you have to lose? You might as well put them in the dryer and see if it would shrink them up a bit. Now, I've got mine in my bamboo pot. I haven't worn them yet because since I made them, it's been too hot to wear socks. So, but I'll see when I mean, I've had them on my feet and they don't seem like they're going to, but you can't really tell, I guess, until you've worn them for a while.
Yeah.
So now Tanya says she's knitting the Journey socks with bamboo right now. So you'll have to let us know, Tanya, how they work out and how the bamboo wears. And Mary says that Kobasi is a combination of cotton, bamboo, and silk. I think they used to carry that at Little Red Mitten. I don't know if they still have it or not, but it did feel like a really nice textured sock. And I know I have made summer socks with the Regia. They've got a cotton, I think it's called Tutti Frutti, and it made very nice socks. And I've got had some of those, and I've worn them for a while, and I've got some
over there. I'm trying to see what it is.
Now, some of the cotton ones from here have a little bit of elastic fiber in them to kind of give them that stretch, that little bit of stretch.
And Bonnie is saying that she's washed her bamboo pop shorties, and I know you use that as well.
Yep,
no problems. So,
yep.
Oh, I didn't know that. Wendy says gathering yarn, which makes that great marl that I really like. Yep. Is
superwashed bamboo cotton. Oh, that would be nice.
Yeah, that would be.
Yeah.
That would be really nice. I hadn't seen that one.
And that's nice because you've got a sock that doesn't have any nylon in it, right? It's the superwash, and then you get your strength from the bamboo. And it's kind of nice. I like trying sock yarns that are a little bit different, that don't have nylon in them, but have like some other fiber like mohair or silk or bamboo or something else to give them strength other than the nylon. My neon pink that I just finished, I actually have enough yarn left. I have half a skein left, so I have enough to do a pair of shorties in those. Might as well have my feet glow too, right? And it does have alpaca, but it does have some nylon in it. So I think that would make, I'm going to try that and see how that works out for socks.
Yeah, they're probably not a pair that you could, like they're not Regia
hard wearing
or Croy worthy, but they would be something that you could wear occasionally just when you're wearing the sweater, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
So,
okay.
Wendy said she got that yarn in Perth.
I think, isn't that where Natalie is this week? Didn't she say she went to the Perth yarn store?
Yes,
Tutti Frutti. That's the name of the one. I can see the yarn, but I couldn't see the label. It's by Regia, and it's
that's the one I've used.
Is that the one you've used?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And because I did. It kind of comes in different fruity colors. Like I think I had one that was like a dragon fruit, and then there was one that looks like a watermelon. But I made socks for my mom with it. I've made socks for my sister with it. I've made socks for myself, and they've all held up really well.
Okay.
So
good. Patricia's actually knitting a summer tee out of the bamboo pop sock yarn. That would be pretty. Yeah. That would be really pretty.
I know there's a lot of yardage in that bamboo pot because I've done the one pair and I still have lots of yarn left in it. So who knows? They might be good train socks because sometimes if the air conditioning's on all the time, it might feel a little cool.
Unraveled in Perth. That's what it's called.
Okay.
Okay.
Bonnie says she has merino cashmere sock from PEI. She hasn't knit with it yet. I don't, you know what? I very rarely do socks with cashmere in it because you have to be careful when you wash them, at least any that I've had, because one of my pairs accidentally got put in the washing machine and I had to give them to my niece who was like 6. So, and I just find they, at least my experience and the ones that I've worked with, they pill a little more. So if I've got like a sock yarn that's got cashmere in it, most likely I'll do a shawl or something that's not going to take the abuse that a pair of socks will. But I know lots of people like it and do socks with it. I just hasn't brought me good luck with it. So
I just wanted to show this off because I still have it sitting here. This is the gorgeous prize for our grand prize at the year end for the sock Makealong. And this is very generously donated from Full Moon Fibers. The gorgeous ladies there.
So gorgeous.
And then they have dyed a coordinating set. So you get the 100 grams of yarn and the 2 minis, and it all matches the bag. It's absolutely beautiful.
I think that one was called Birds of Paradise.
Yes. Birds in Paradise.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gorgeous.
So, did anybody else get in on that sale? They had a great sale last week.
Did you get it already?
No, I thought I would get it.
Oh.
So there's a weird thing. Like if I have it, if I have it sent to my work, they deliver it right to my work.
Right.
If I send it to my home address, they won't even attempt delivery here. It just goes to the post office. And then I have to wait a couple of days and go get it. So I think it's in, but I can't pick it up until tomorrow. I was hoping to have it. I would have shown everybody what I got. But
I did not buy anything this week.
You say that like it's a huge sacrifice. Actually, that would be a great idea for a fundraiser instead of the rockathon or the dance-a-thon. Put Noelle in a no buying timeout and see if she could make it for an entire weekend. That would be a great idea. Julia shopped. Are you bringing it on Saturday, Julia? Do we get to see it?
And Kim shopped. She said after we mentioned Full Moon Fiber sale, she went out and bought the flower infusion kit. And Wendy got some. And I know I was watching Irene on the 3-Ply podcast, and she went out and ordered some of the Leo and Roxy marled sock yarn. She had it already.
It's gorgeous. It's still sitting here so I can show it again. The Leo and Roxy marled sock.
Oh, and Jillian got some.
It's amazing. I love it.
She got some of the slub.
The slub. So pretty.
Oh, Sarah shopped like a mad woman. Sarah, I did that when they had their pop-up shop at when they had their trunk show at Little Red Mitten.
The shipping was very fast. It's because of where I am. I should have just had it sent to work and I would have had it last week. So yeah, lots of people shop. Tassels in the Sky. Wendy got hers already.
You still had something that you could knit on, Kelly, without that yarn.
Well, I don't know. It was a struggle. But I'm definitely gonna park myself tonight and work on that little cardigan. I want to at least get a sleeve done. I want to see some pattern happening now, right? I also realized that I went through the needles I needed. I don't know why. Why didn't I have 3.5 needles? I didn't have any DPN 3.5, so I had to use those metal ones. I could have used a long cord, but I don't like that.
People that bought the sock and bag combo, because they sometimes do, depending on where the show is or what they're doing, they'll do a different sock combo. I think they had one for Kawartha, but they just match up the yarn perfectly to the bag.
I know, it's so pretty,
and I love mine. I use it all the time.
I'm kind of wishing I had bought one now.
Now,
if the prize goes missing, you'll all know where it is.
Kathy says that Unit has 20% off today.
I saw that. Yes, I did see that too. So,
and Gail says that she agrees that the socks with cashmere don't seem to have the wearability of other sock yarns. I guess it depends on how hard you are on your particular socks. Like I don't want to have to think about mine of like, I shouldn't be wearing it here, or I shouldn't put it into my boots, or I shouldn't be running around in my sock feet. Like, so I prefer the harder wearing sock
I
yarns.
still just find it strange that I've never worn through a pair of socks. Like now I'm starting to wonder why, because I have pairs that I've had like for so long that I just
the
can't
ones that
seem
I
to wear
wore
out.
through were ones that I knit very originally, and I didn't have a lot of other pairs at that time. So I think I was wearing them a whole lot more. So.
Kathy is saying you knit Carrie's Holst as well.
Mm-hmm.
So if you want to get your Holst on, you could go there for 20% off. 20% off is a pretty good deal.
Yep. So
absolutely. Okay.
So
I think we're about at that time.
I think we're good. So it was a little shorter because I didn't buy anything this week. I'm going to tell Ross, I have to. We need that part at the end of the podcast.
Yeah. It made the podcast, a whole 5 minutes shorter. So,
yeah.
But I think we're there. Who
knows? I think I better not buy yarn. I might have to buy a new phone.
Well, there's that. Yeah. So are you going to send it out to be repaired?
I don't know yet. Ross is going to take a look at it because I didn't really have time to look at it, but I tried all the things, but whatever. We'll see. But I'm just glad that I'm using his phone tonight. I'm glad that his phone worked because of course it wasn't charged when I went to use it.
No, they never are.
No.
Never.
But it's held out pretty well.
Good. So. Good.
Okay. So
I think that's everything.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So after the podcast,
everybody for joining us.
Yes. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. And then if there's something that you needed to go back to, if you give us a half an hour-ish after this goes up onto the YouTubers, then I will have the time codes in there. Noelle will have show notes for anything that you might have missed. And other than that, we'll be back again next Tuesday.
If you have any questions or anything that you want us to talk about, like in future knit chats, like just let us know. You can either put it under the video, or if you want to email us at the knitsandpiecespodcast@gmail.com. I mean, we are definitely not experts, but all we can do is tell you what we do. So
okay, Marianne just said perfect timing. She just cast off the leaf top. She started yesterday at 2 p.m. That's you saying, awesome. Marianne, that you knit a sweater in a day? Is that what you're saying, or did you fill me in on that? If you knit a sweater in a day, like wow, I don't even know where to go with that. That's crazy. That's a lot of knitting.
Sarah says there must be smoke coming off her needles.
Coming off the needles. Absolutely.
So Marianne, send us a picture of that and then we'll put it in next week. It's a tank top. So send us a picture of it and we'll put it in next week and show everybody.
Yeah, the sweater you can knit in just over 24 hours. Absolutely.
So that's amazing. So
all right. Thanks so much, everybody.
Yeah, thank you, everybody. Wonderful. Thanks for watching. I feel a lot more relaxed now. I don't care about my phone anymore.
No, now you just want to get back to the knitting, right?
Yeah. Okay.
Well, take care.
Take care. We'll see you next week.
Happy knitting.
Bye.
Bye.